Hi, my name is Jazil, and this is my place in Canadian history. My family history and my history. My dad was born on March 8, 1960. Canada, Jean Lesage won the provincial election in Quebec on June 22, 1960, which began the Quiet Revolution. Back in Pakistan, on September 1960, Pakistan and India signed the Indus Waters Treaty. My mom was born on April 14, 1973. On April 2, 1973, Montreal announced Canada's first lottery to help pay for the 1976 Summer Olympics. Back in Pakistan, on April 10, 1973, the Constitution of Pakistan was approved by the Parliament. My parents got married on March 12, 1993. In Canada, on March 12, 1993, Governor General Ray Hanachin made an amendment to the Constitution of Canada, adding the Section 16.1 to the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which guaranteed equality between English-speaking and French-speaking New Brunswickers. On April 4, 1993, India presented evidence against Pakistan, connecting them to the Bombay bombings. I was born on June 16, 1999. On June 3, 1999, Canada and the US signed treaty splitting the Pacific salmon fishery. Back in Pakistan in May 1999, the Kargil conflict between India and Pakistan began. All of the moments that I've said till now are really important, from my parents' birth to their marriage, because all of that led to me being born, which was where my life started. And I believe that almost 80% of the personality of a person is based on how they're raised by their parents. So having the parents that I have has shaped me a lot. And so I think these are the really important things in my life. However, those are not all the events that have shaped me during my life. Another defining moment that I had was when I was in grade 2 and I finished first in my class. It was the first week of June 2006, and I had just finished second grade, and I finished first overall. And watching my parents get happy over that made me want to do good in my studies for the rest of my life. In Canada, on June 2nd, 400 plus police officers arrested 15 people believed to be part of a terrorist cell. And back in Pakistan, in February 2006, 3 Sikhs were beheaded by Taliban, increasing their fear in the people living in Pakistan. My grandfather passed away on October 22nd, 2008, and his death caused the death of my grandmother, kind of, because after my grandfather passed away, my grandmother, who was a really strong woman, uh, became really sad, and she started staying sick all the time, and in a couple months she died as well. And this affected my family and me a lot, since the two pillars that were holding my family up were just died like in a difference of a couple months. This shook up the whole family, because we had no one to ask for advice anymore. It was just us on our own, and no one felt like doing anything anymore. They were everyone was just really sad. In Canada, on October 10th, 2008, British Columbia pipeline bombings occurred, and letters were sent to local media outlets warning oil and gas companies to leave the area, saying, "We will no longer negotiate with terrorists, which you are, as you keep endangering our families with crazy expansion of deadly gas wells in our homelands." And on 3rd November 2008, in America, Obama became the first black president, which was a huge thing. My little brother was born on December 14, 2008, and this was around the time that my grandparents passed away. So, in all of the bad stuff, he was the good news, and he's like a toy for us basically. He has made our life so much better, and he has affected me a lot. On October 22nd, 2008, in Canada, there was an economy crisis because the value of the loonie fell below 80 cents in US, and this hadn't happened since the mid 2005, so it was a really big Back deal. In Pakistan on August 18, 2008, President Pervez Musharraf resigned as president. On September 30th, 2010, I moved to Canada. First, when we came to Canada, we landed in Calgary because my dad's brother lived there. As you can see on the landing papers, it says Calgary is the place we landed. Also, I provided you the picture of a PR card to like show you that I'm a resident of Canada. Also, like coming to Canada is one of the biggest things that has happened in my life. It has changed me a lot. The education system here is very different, and it has made me more confident and has made me more groomed. So, if I had to like pick one of the biggest things in my life that has defined me, it was moving to Canada. In Canada, on August 11th, 2010, the town of Oka bought the land from Norfolk Financial that caused the Oka crisis 20 years earlier. Back in Pakistan on 12th March 2010, three separate suicide bombings targeted Pakistani security forces, and these bombings occurred from 8th March till 12th March. It is known that more than 72 people were killed in these three related suicide attacks, and more than 190 people were injured. Those are all the defining moments that I'll be talking about in the video. Even though there are a lot more events that have changed me, but these are the most important ones. And now I'll be talking a little bit about the factors that pushed my parents to move from Pakistan and the factors that pulled us into Canada. First of all, one of the push factors was the fact that there was like electricity problems in Pakistan. Like mostly there was no electricity. Like it would come an hour, then the other hour it would go, and sometimes it was even worse. It wouldn't be there for like a couple hours straight. And in summers it was really hard to sleep because without air conditioning it would get so hot, and there was a lot of violence as well. Like terrorist attacks on like public places kept on going, and like you weren't safe anywhere. Like markets, schools, and so like my parents they started fearing for their family safety. Like even when we were at school, they would still be worried about us, even though you're supposed to feel safe when your kids are at school. Also, my dad had a death threat to him, and they wrote a letter to him like asking him to drop a gold chain at a certain point, and if he didn't, they would kill him. And also, uh, like a couple months before we got the immigration option for Canada, like in a month, like these two robberies happened at my dad's clinic, one at the clinic in Karachi and one at the clinic at Lahore. So that just like made my dad not want to work in Pakistan anymore. The good things about Canada is that the education over here is better, and there are like more opportunities here, and not only for like study wise, like even for sports, like because of the rep team system, you can get scouted way easier, and also it's way safer. So like my parents don't have to worry about me going out. Like you can go out after midnight and still be safe. And there are like more benefits here as well, like free healthcare, like the support from government for higher education, better passports, stuff like that. And that was all from my place in Canadian history. Thank you for listening.